Unit 10, Day 1. We're going to be studying area. We're going to do area of figures, area of sectors, and actually composite figures. This is a part of the formula sheet that you will be provided. So these are some of your area formulas. This is the area of a triangle, rectangle, square, parallelogram, trapezoid, and circle. So since we're studying area, always look for the letter A. So the steps, we're going to identify the shape, and then we're going to write the formula. We're going to start with number 2 from your worksheet. And the shape here is a triangle. Next, we write the formula from the formula sheet that will be provided. Area is equal to 1/2 base times height. So we can see from the picture that the base is 15 all the way across the bottom, and the height, which is always perpendicular, is 21.3. We do the calculations and we get 159.75 meters squared. Why is it meters squared? Because 15 is meters, the base is meters, and the height is meters, and when we multiply those together, m times m is m squared. So area will always be meters squared, and don't forget your units. What's the shape? Shape is a parallelogram. Let's write down the formula. Area is base times height. The base going across the bottom is 12.9. The height is always perpendicular, and so the height here is 7.1. This is in inches, this is in inches, and so we expect our units to be inches squared. Final answer, 91.59 inches squared. So we look at our picture, we look at the shape. It is a trapezoid. We go to our formula sheet and write the formula for a trapezoid, and now we're going to fill in the given information. So the area is equal to 1/2. The height, we already said the height is going to be perpendicular. So what's next to our perpendicular line is 16. And then the height connects the bases. So the top base is 19 and the bottom base is 27. We go ahead and multiply all of that together and we get 368. It is centimeters, and so our answer is centimeters squared. You try this one and then hit pause, and when you're ready to see the big reveal, hit play. So here we go. It's a triangle. We write down the formula, 1/2 base times height. Careful with the height. It's always centered around 90 degrees. That's the altitude. So we multiply it all together and we get area is equal to 206.5 inches squared. Here we have a word problem. We're going to stick to the basics. What's the shape and what's the formula? As I read it, it says it is a triangle. So we're going to go ahead and write in the word triangle. What's the formula for a triangle? It is 1/2 base times height. Let's continue to read. It does say area, so we have written down the right formula. It says that the area is 45.5. So here for area, I'm going to substitute in 45.5. It says that it has a base. Go ahead and write down the 1/2 because that's a part of the formula. The base is 14 and the height is, we don't know. That's what we're solving for. So we're going to simplify this. 45.5 is equal to 1/2 of 14, which is 7. So let's go ahead and finish it up by completing the algebra. We get height is equal to 6.5, but the height should be measured in what? Should it be measured in centimeters or should it be measured in centimeters squared? Well, height is a linear measurement and it is just centimeters. Area is going to be squared. Take a look at this. When I read through the problem, this is a trapezoid, so I go ahead and write down it is a trapezoid. We're looking for area, so I'm going to write down the formula for the area of a trapezoid. It is 1/2 the height, and we're adding the bases, base 1 and base 2. Let's see what we can put in. It says the base measure of 23 and 29. So we do have 23 and 29 for the bases. says the area is 390, so I'm going to come over here and substitute in 390 for area. Find the height. So we got 1/2 h. So we're solving for h. We simplified the bases and we get 52. We take half of 52 and we get 390 is equal to 26h. Let's go ahead and solve for h and let's see what we get. And we get h is equal to 15. Our units are going to be kilometers. So this is 15 kilometers will be the height. Try this one on your own, answer the question, and then come back. All right, walking through the problem. It is a circle. Formula is pi r squared. We substitute the area in, which is 380.13 is equal to pi r squared. We divide by pi. We get 121 is equal to r squared. We take the square root of each side and we get r is equal to 11. The problem says what is the diameter? And so the diameter is going to be twice the radius. So the diameter is going to be 22 meters. So the diameter is 22 meters. We're still looking at area, except we're looking at area of a section, which we call a sector. So a sector is a section of a circle bounded by the central angle and its intercepted arc. Got to think of it like a piece of pizza. So the formula for finding the area of a sector is going to be x over 360. So that's the angle over 360 times pi r squared. Okay. And so x is going to be the measure of the arc or the central angle. So what's the shape? It is a circle. What's the formula? The formula for a circle is area is equal to pi r squared. However, this isn't the whole circle, it's a part of the circle. So we're going to have to do x over 360 times pi r squared. Okay, this one, level 1 question, because we know the arc, which is the same as the angle. So this is 51 degrees. So it's 51 over 360 times pi r squared. So BC is 16 feet. So we know our R is 16. Let's go ahead and multiply this out. We could use 3.14 or we could use the symbol for pi. I'm going to use 3.14 and let's see what we get. Final answer is 113.88 feet squared for that little section. All right, so for this particular one, the shape is a circle. The formula is x over 360 times pi r squared, because it's definitely not the whole circle, it's a part of the circle, but we got to be careful because the shaded region is not the part that's 126 degrees. So we're going to have to subtract 126 from 360. So when we subtract the 126 from 360, we get 234. So this arc and angle is 234. So I do 234 over 360 times pi r squared. R is 13. So let's see what we get. 344.92 yards squared. All right, so we start off with the shape. It's a circle. X over 360 times pi r squared. However, the shaded part is definitely not 42 degrees. We're going to subtract 42 degrees from 360 and we get 318. We're going to move that into our formula. Make sure you show that this arc right here is 318. So this is 318 divided by 360 times pi r squared. Well, y to z is 9, so this is going to be 9 squared. Click, 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 click in our calculator, and we get that the area is equal to 224.67. And what's the units? Inches, and its area, so it's squared. So we take a look and we see the shape is a circle. We're not looking for the area of the whole circle, so we're doing x over 360 times pi r squared. Well, the shaded region is definitely not 90 degrees. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 360 and we're going to subtract 90 degrees. When we do that, we get 270 degrees. So 270 degrees is this arc of the shaded area. So we're going to do 270 over 360 times pi r squared. M to n is 29.5 squared. Let's kick it out. Click, 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 click in the calculator, and let's see what we get. 2,049.43 miles squared. Well, we take a look, and this picture looks a little odd, but we want the shaded sections. So the shape is a circle. We have two sections. Let's find one at a time, and then we'll add them together. X over 360 times pi r squared is going to be the formula. We can see that the arc and the angle are the same. It's 46 over 360 times pi r squared, which is 7 squared. Let's kick out the clicks in the calculator and see what we get. So one section is 19.66. However, we do have two sections, so we're going to have to add 19.66 to itself, or just multiply it by 2, and the final answer is 39.31 centimeters squared. Alrighty, we do the same approach. What's the shape? Oh, it's a circle. Two shaded sections or sectors. However, we don't have the measurement for it. However, if we go straight across, this is 180. So 180 minus 143 gives us 37. So this angle in here is 37 and the arc is 37. So let's go ahead and get started. That'll be 37 divided by 360 times pi r squared. Now E to B is 10.4, so that is your radius. Let's click, click, click in the calculator and see what we get. So the area of one section is 34.9. Let's go ahead and multiply that by 2. And the area is 69.8. And what's the units? Inches squared. You try this one and then come back and see if you have it correct. So we check out our sections, and we have a half circle. So we use half circle formula. And we get 180 over 360 times pi times 5 squared, because they gave us a diameter. So when we do this, we get 39.25. Over here, we have 58 over 360 times pi 5 squared. And when we kick this out, we get 12.65. Last up, add the two shaded regions together, and we get 51.89 millimeters squared. This section is called composite figures. Basically, I feel like we just did composite figures because we divided some parts up and we found the areas of the two. However, here are the notes, here are the steps, shapes, formulas. Sometimes we may have to fill in missing information. Alright, so the two shapes here are a rectangle and a trapezoid. So for the rectangle, it is base times height, and for the trapezoid, the area is 1/2 height, and then we're adding the bases together, base 1 plus base 2. Okay, so the area of the rectangle is going to be pretty much straightforward. That's going to be 23 times 12. The area of the trapezoid, we have work to do for the area of the trapezoid. The height of the whole thing is 18. So from here to here is 12. So from here to here is 6. So the height is going to be 6. The bases are 23 and 15. Let's go ahead and kick out the area of each one, and then we'll add it together. Here we go. 114 for the area of the rectangle, 276 for the area of the trapezoid, totaling 390 centimeters squared. Alright, so this one looks weird, but if we were to remove the actual parallelogram out of the center and slide the two parts together, then we would have a circle and definitely a parallelogram. So the formula for a circle is going to be pi r squared, and the area for a parallelogram is going to be base times height. Well, for the circle, I have pi R is 6, so this is 6 squared. So I have 36 pi. Let's see what we get. 113.04. So here the parallelogram, base times height, we're going to have to add the two sides together to get the base, so that's 12. The height is always centered around your 90 degrees, so that's 5, so then that's 60, and we're going to add the two together. So in this section, we're going to talk about shaded regions. And some parts are going to be shaded and some are going to be unshaded. So we're going to focus on the whole, and we're going to subtract the part. So it's entire minus the smaller part. So here, when we think about the entire, the shape is square. The smaller part is the circle. So we're going to find the area of the square and subtract the area of the circle. So here we go. We found the area of the entire figure, which is a square. Subtract the area of the circle. We get 625 minus 490. So the area of the shaded region is 134.37. So those are the parts that are on the corners. All right, so we're going to look at the shape. So our big shape is the rectangle. So that's the entire shape, or the whole. And we're going to subtract the smaller shape, which is a triangle. So let's write down the formulas. For a rectangle, it's base times height. And for a triangle, the area is equal to 1/2 base times height. So for the rectangle, we go with 14 times 25. Okay, so here we have the final area of the rectangle, and we have the area of the triangle. 1/2 base times height. The base goes all the way across, so that's 25 times the height, which is 11. We subtract the 2 and we get 212.5. So we're going to take a look at the shape. And we have a half circle and a triangle. So let's figure out what the formulas are. So here we have our formulas. We don't have a radius, so what are we going to do to find the radius? Well, of course, this is a right triangle because the arc is the diameter. And so we can use Pythagorean's theorem. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So 9 squared plus 21.6 squared equals c squared. And when we do Pythagorean's theorem, we find out that c is equal to, so c is equal to 23.4. That's the diameter, but we need the radius. And so the radius is going to be 11.7. Let's go ahead and plug that into the formula here. See what we get. So we plug it in, 180 over 360 since it's half. Let's see what we get. 214.9. Now let's do the area of the triangle. 1/2 9 times 21.6. So we take the entire area, we subtract the area of the triangle, and we get 117.7 meters squared. Whew. We saved the best for last. And now our homework will be from only section 1, and it'll be any 14 problems for completion. And show your work. Thank you.